They told us history is settled. We are taught that we know where we came from, how civilization began, and how it slowly evolved into the modern world. But scattered across the earth are clues that don't fit the story. Clues that suggest entire chapters of our past are missing. From impossible machines found on the ocean floor, to mysterious books in unknown languages, to ancient maps showing lands that shouldn't exist. These are not myths. They are real objects you can see, touch, and study. Yet science still struggles to explain them. Welcome to Secrets of Time TV. Today, we are diving into 10 ancient mysteries that defy logic, challenge what we're taught, and hint that our history might be far older and far stranger than we ever imagined. We begin in Egypt, in the shadow of one of the most iconic monuments on Earth, the Great Sphinx of Giza. According to mainstream Egyptology, it was carved around 2500 BC, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre. That is the official story. But when geologist Robert Schoch examined the Sphinx and the walls surrounding it, he noticed something unsettling. The erosion patterns on the stone didn't look like damage from wind and sand. They looked like damage from centuries of heavy rainfall. Here is the problem. Egypt hasn't seen that kind of rainfall for at least 7,000 to 9,000 years. If the rock was shaped by rain, then the Sphinx may be thousands of years older than the civilization that supposedly built it. So who carved it? Was there an even earlier, lost civilization in Egypt, highly skilled in stonework, that vanished long before the pharaohs rose to power? In 1901, sponge divers exploring a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera pulled up what looked like a useless lump of corroded metal. For decades, it sat quietly in a museum until X-rays revealed a technological shock. Hidden inside was a complex system of bronze gears, dials, and inscriptions. This was the Antikythera mechanism, often called the world's first analog computer. It could predict eclipses, track the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, and even calculate the timing of ancient sporting events with incredible precision. The device dates back to around 100 BC. Yet nothing of comparable complexity appears again in Europe for more than 1,500 years. It is like finding a jet engine in a medieval castle. Someone in the ancient world knew advanced mathematics and precision engineering. And then, somehow, that knowledge disappeared. Was this the only one of its kind? Or was it a common tool for a civilization we have forgotten? Locked away in a secure library is a book that no one can read. Written in the early 1400s, the Voynich Manuscript contains 240 pages of bizarre illustrations. Plants that don't match any known species on Earth, naked women bathing in strange green liquid, and intricate star charts. But the real mystery is the text itself. It is written in an unknown script, in a language that does not match any other on the planet. Teams of expert codebreakers, from World War II cryptographers to modern AI supercomputers, have tried to decode it. They've detected patterns that look like a real language, grammar, structure, repetition, but not a single sentence has been translated. Is it an elaborate medieval hoax? A lost encyclopedia of herbal medicine? Or a message from a culture whose entire history has been erased? until someone cracks the code, the Voynich Manuscript remains a locked door. Across 400 square miles of the Peruvian desert, the ground itself becomes a canvas. From the air, you can see them clearly. A giant hummingbird stretching across the sand, a spider with long, delicate legs, and vast geometric lines that run straight for miles. These are the Nazca Lines. Created between 500 BC and 500 AD, the ancient people made them by removing the dark top layer of stones to reveal the white ground beneath. But here is the catch. You can barely tell what they are from the ground. Only from high in the sky do the full shapes appear. Archaeologists suggest they were ritual pathways for water ceremonies. But a question refuses to go away. Why create art on a scale that only makes sense from the air if humans couldn't fly? Were they giant markers for travelers? Or were they messages meant to be seen from above by someone or something looking down? In 1929, researchers in Istanbul discovered a map drawn in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral Piri Reis. At first, it looked like just another early world map. But then, scholars looked closer at the bottom section. It depicted a coastline that looked very familiar, the outline of Antarctica. The continent of Antarctica was not officially discovered until 1820, around 300 years later. What's more, the Piri Reis map appears to show the coastline without the thick ice that covers it today. Modern geology suggests that part of Antarctica hasn't been ice-free for at least 6,000 years. Piri Reis himself claimed his work was based on older source maps that are now lost. Did an unknown seafaring civilization chart the entire globe long before recorded history began? In 1974, farmers digging a well in China uncovered one of the greatest archaeological finds of all time. Beneath their feet lay an army. Thousands of life-sized clay soldiers standing in silent rows, guarding the tomb of the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But the emperor's actual burial chamber has never been opened. Ancient texts describe a vast underground palace with rivers and lakes of flowing mercury, built to simulate the world. For years, this was dismissed as a legend, but modern soil tests around the tomb have revealed dangerously high levels of mercury, up to 100 times higher than normal. The Chinese government has forbidden excavation. What is the emperor hiding down there that requires a river of liquid metal to protect it? On the plains of England stands Stonehenge. We know it aligns perfectly with the solstice sun. But the real puzzle is the construction. The massive sarsen stones weigh up to 25 tons. But the smaller blue stones came from the Preseli Hills in Wales, over 150 miles away. How did Neolithic people with no wheels and no pulleys transport these stones over mountains and rivers? Recent experiments have failed to replicate the feat using the tools of the time. Was this a temple, a healing center, or a giant astronomical calendar? The stones aren't talking, and the mystery remains. Easter Island is famous for its giant stone heads, the moai. But the island holds a deeper secret. In the 19th century, explorers found wooden tablets covered in strange hieroglyphs known as rongo-rongo. It is one of the few independent writing systems in human history. But tragically, the ability to read it was lost when the island's population was decimated by disease and slavery in the 1860s. Today, no one can read these tablets. They are the only voice left of the ancient Rapa Nui people. If we could crack the code, we might finally understand how they moved the giant statues and why their society eventually collapsed. We all know the pyramids, but ancient historian Herodotus described something even greater. He wrote of a massive labyrinth near the Lake of Muiris, containing 3,000 rooms and underground chambers. He said it surpassed even the pyramids in glory. For centuries, this was considered a myth. But in 2008, the Mataha expedition used ground-penetrating radar at the site of Hawara. They found evidence of a colossal grid structure beneath the sand, massive walls and chambers, just as Herodotus described. Despite this discovery, no major excavation has taken place. The labyrinth and its secrets remain buried, waiting for the world to remember it. Finally, the mother of all mysteries, Atlantis. For thousands of years, we have searched the oceans for Plato's lost city. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? Plato described Atlantis as a city of concentric rings of water and land. Now, look at the Richat structure in Mauritania, Africa, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. This natural formation matches Plato's dimensions almost perfectly. It sits in a region that was once lush and green, with rivers flowing into the Atlantic. Could the sunken city actually be this structure, destroyed not by sinking, but by a massive flood that swept across Africa? From the sands of Egypt to the deserts of Peru, the evidence is clear. Our history is full of holes. These artifacts are reminders that we are a species with amnesia, living in the ruins of a forgotten past. Which of these mysteries do you think is the most convincing? Do you believe in the lost civilization of Atlantis? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, hit the like button and subscribe to Secrets of Time TV. Until next time, keep questioning history.